Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. This is Hug Nation's Love Morning with me, Halcyon. You can call me John. Sometimes I feel very much like a John. It's interesting, my Instagram name is Halcyon Pink. Well, we'll see how that goes. But this is Love Morning. It is a opportunity to come together and remember that we are part of a global community of like-minded, open-hearted human beings who are, at our core, have so many desires and instincts to be connected, to be kind. And so we just got to remind ourselves that to snap out of any narratives about a dangerous world and people being mean, and not that there is not danger out there, not that there is not mean people out there. But if we protect ourselves with a narrative so that we make sure that no one ever hurts us, then we have created so many walls of protection that we have isolated ourselves from the ability to connect. And the price of that, the cost of that safety, is the fullness of human experience. So if you are here, you are probably desiring, like I am, to be a little bit more courageous in our day-to-day lives, be a little bit more brave about being exposing our jugular, allowing ourselves the possibility of being teased, taunted, judged. Because if we allow for the possibility of that, then we are making room for connection. So thank you, fellow love ambassador, for helping me to remember that I'm not alone, that we are surrounded. So this is our chance each morning to remember that, to practice sharing gratitude, to bring some of the things in our world that are maybe below our threshold of awareness or taken for granted, bring them above so we go, right, oh my goodness, I have that and that and that and that and that. And also to remember, if we have a chance today, who do I want to be? Before you know what the decision or choices or actions you're going to make, before that, who do I want to be as I make those decisions? I want to be kind. I want to be brave. I want to be patient. So if I know that now, then when something happens, somebody cuts me off, I go, wait, who do I want to be today? The patient one, the forgiving one. When I get an email, you need to do this. I go, wait, who do I want to be today? Oh, okay. I know how that person would react. At the end of the day, I get to go, what a good day. Not because of what happened, but because of who I was. So thank you for being a part of that. Thanks for being here. What are you grateful for? I would love to know. But before I read and share, I got to stick with tradition and make up a song, improv it on the spot. It's hug morning, da 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 da, and we get together, da 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 da. No matter what it's like, da 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 da, in the weather, da 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 da. And if we have something good, da 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 da, to share with our friends, da 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 da, then we'll be there in the beginning, da 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 da, and we'll share the ends, da 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 da. Oh, love morning, da 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 da. Oh, love morning, da 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 da. Oh, love morning, da 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 da. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Peter. Good day to you, Jason. Good morning, Gerbot. Sarah says, I'm walking a beautiful sunny walk to work. You're keeping me company. Yay, I love that. You know, I just moved this plant just before the broadcast because I want it to be more visible because it's really pretty, but it's touching me. Yes, you are, you beautiful thing. Gerbot says, how was the ride? And suddenly I'm blanking on what I was talking about with the ride. Man, what happened yesterday? Jade says, my 39th birthday is Friday. And I am 1 year sober and no nicotine for a month. Still getting my still landing on my feet and navigating. Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a year and happy birthday. I hope that as you're navigating, you're also finding treasures. For example, as you type that, as you recognize that you are approaching or have made a year of sticking to something that you said that you were going to do, there's this priceless golden treasure of pride, of being able to trust yourself, knowing like I can say I'm going to do something and do it. And I am now a person that can do that. I am now a person that is that much closer to the person that I want to be, that I know I can be. And I know that I find that awareness can be so strong that even when I'm having trouble navigating, I can lean into that as a real anchor of it's all good. That's such a huge priority that if I'm doing okay with that, we're good. Congratulations and happy birthday. Peter saying, thank you for being a part of your Love Ambassador morning. Well, yes. Nice job, John. Good morning, Echo. Divine Rising. I love that. Is that the equivalent of good morning? Divine Rising. My grandfather, I just have these great memories of when him at the cabin and him walking through in the morning, just going, oh, what a beautiful morning. Good morning, John. Oh, the earthquake. Yes, the earthquake. Yeah, it was pretty close to us, my understanding is. And we definitely felt it. While it was happening, we got an earthquake alert. What I heard from other people is that they got an earthquake alert and then they felt it because they were farther away, but it was beeping while we were shaking. And yeah, it was kind of like a rumble. So as it started, I like, hey, that's earthquake. Oh, it's still going. It popped up and I went into a door jam. And then I started screaming for Lisa because as a native San Diegan, I am no stranger to earthquakes. But I suddenly panicked that, and I kind of got into a little bit of protector mode, and I went running for her, as if like, if I find her, I will protect her from the building as it falls upon us. But it's kind of nice to know that deep in me, I care so much about her that that's all I cared about. And we had things shaking. Lisa has a guitar that's got on a mount, hanging on a mount, and it kind of went ding. So I heard this clang from a guitar string. Echo is sharing, today I'm feeling grateful to have a reliable vehicle, a stable place to live, and rising to the deer walking through the labyrinth in the backyard this rising. I love the way you share. Yesterday, Lisa saw a coyote in the daytime run right in front of our backyard porch. We don't have deer around here, but we have lots of coyotes that usually we just hear them. They'll get into these beep, 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 like it's quite loud sometimes. We actually have earplugs next to the bed just for prolonged coyote things. And it's not just the howling, it's this yip, 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 wop, wop, all different crazy sounds. Peter says, the reason that I tune in to Happy Love Morning and attempt to be a love ambassador is simply because I know that if I try and I show up, things will happen partially due or mostly due to Caleb. If you're new to us, that's Grandpa Caleb on the wall. He passed in 2007 and is a monumental force in my life. Echo is saying, yes, I say rising instead of morning, as the sun is rising and not in morning. Oh, morning, M-O-U-R-N. I like you. Jade says, oh my God, my grandma used to sing in the morning like that. You unlocked a memory. She'd sing like, wake up, it's a good day, and other renditions. Oh, thank you, Peter. It's an interesting experience for me to, like, humor is a huge part of my life. Lisa and I are always making each other laugh a lot. When I'm with my favorite people, we're laughing. It's a part of my brain that is always kind of just noticing words and conversations that I can like tweak in a way that will make people go, what? Ha 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 ha. If you were here yesterday, I showed the green screen improv that I did with my brother. And at the end of it, I said, after being totally serious, I was like, in all seriousness, Mom, and my brother goes, and that's very hard for us, you know. And then and he's like, humor is our love language, so we love you, Mom. Jay says, I think I'll try to meditate and remember those times. I totally forgot. She'd do it in the morning, waking up. I love that. My memory is different than many people that I talk to, in that I do not have the recall that many people do. And I certainly don't have a very visual memory. So even if I remember something in the past, it's usually like a connection or a feeling or like objects and things. I don't have I can't remember like walking into a thing and seeing a thing or playing on a thing. I don't have many memories like that. Maybe it could be a big reason why I record so much, and is because like the video that I have of my grandfather so helps me to feel his presence through his voice and his tempo and things. But it does. I've had an interesting experience in a similar way to you. I think that when I'm with Asher, and he will act in a certain way or do a certain thing, and I will have this like, oh my gosh, I think I did that as a kid, or I had that feeling, or I see what he's doing here. He needs to do it differently than the directions are telling him. He wants to make it unique in his. I'm like, oh my God, I totally was like that. I felt no joy in following the directions and doing the coloring like it's supposed to. I wanted the teacher to be like, oh, well, that also works, or that's a unique, yes, okay. And I see him doing that all the time. Oh, and I'd forgotten. Peter says, if one can scream for Lisa, always scream for Lisa. Good point. Actually, Lisa's on her way. Oh, I missed it. I might have missed her. She's going to leave at 1:15. Should I check if she's still here? I don't want her to be waiting for me. I made her a card this morning where I cut out a heart of it so that you could see through it on the front into the heart, the pink. So it was a cut out of a heart. You could see the pink through it, and it said, "Lisa, a part of my heart will always be with you." And then the heart that I cut out, I colored that pink and put a safety pin through it so she could bring it with her on her trip. I thought I was being pretty cute. Gerbot says, also a California native, I enjoy earthquakes. It's wild to see the earth undulate. So it's like earthquakes are one of those things where they're a super awesome, just like, yeah, you're riding the world as it's doing a little, I love it. With a little in the back, and in my background, this little fear of like, hopefully this isn't a 7, like hopefully this isn't gonna hurt anybody. Gerbot says, I am grateful for music and our unbelievable, unprecedented access to so much of it. You ever watch like an old movie, like olden times, when like people have an opportunity to see a band of musicians come through town, and it's like so incredible. And here we are with access to the greatest musicians of all time playing at just anything we want. It's incredible. Okay. Gerbot says, I had the same experience hearing my grandfather after he passed on home video. It's a very powerful experience. So grateful for an audio-visual record of him. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I went to a funeral this weekend, and there was a slideshow, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I have so many great video footage things of my parents. Peter said, I got goosebumps when you said that humor is a large part of your life, and it's also a large part of mine, because if you don't laugh at your challenges, they will destroy you quicker. I think I can hear Lisa's still here, so I'm going to go close this circle and then go say goodbye to her, because nothing personal, but she's my everything. Wherever you are, let me close that. Let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, appreciating our bodies and our connection and all the things we have to be grateful for in this world. What a gift to be alive and conscious and know that we're connected to so many beautiful fellow participants in this dance of life. Let's take a deep breath in and feel ourselves squeezing one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thank you for being here today for this Hug Nation Love Morning.